Okay, today we're going to walk you through the basic functions of Microsoft Word 2007. Initially, when you're going to start a document, generally you're going to have some type of title. You can do it a couple different ways. You can give predetermined titles that they've given you. So, for example, we'll call this Microsoft Word Demonstration, and then I want to hit Enter down, and then click over to normal. Then I can start typing. Today we are going to talk about etc., etc., etc. Say I don't want to use their title. I don't like the blue, I don't like the underline, and I want to just make my own. So I'm just going to enter down and say, hey, I want to just choose my font. I'm going to choose, say, Algerian 24 size font and bold, and I can say Microsoft Word Demonstration, and then that's my new one. I'm just going to hit enter. It saves my settings as what I have before, so if I want it to come back to normal, I have to change it. I can do the default in Calibri or the well-known Times New Roman, take off the bold and go back to standard 12 size font. Say today we are. As you probably noticed, when I misspelled a word, it either automatically corrects it for me as I hit space, or if I miss it pretty bad and I meant to say bullet, I can either right click on it and choose what I meant, or I can go click review at the tab bar and hit spelling and grammar, and it goes through and gives me the suggestion, and I hit change. So a lot of people have a hard time finding the spell check in 2007, but it's under the review tab. Another good tab to know is the view tab. You can change the way you look at it. If it's just in a specific reading view, you can do an outline, draft, etc. If you want to show grid lines on it when you're using pictures, if you want to know where your margins are, you'd click the ruler, zoom, one page, two page, etc. These are a little more advanced functions that we'll talk about a little bit later in a different training, but I thought it was pretty important to understand those basic review and view functions. The other tab I want to talk to you about is the page layout tab. For example, this page is going up and down. If you go to orientation, click down, you can make it go from left to right and become a landscape and make it print out this way. You can also change the size of your document if you want it to print on a legal sheet, or a regular 8.5 by 11. Another thing that's pretty useful is margins. What's great about Microsoft 2007 is you have different types of margins that they automatically send. I usually use normal or narrow if I'm trying to get a lot of information on one page, but still offer the custom margins that you can input yourself if you'd like. The next thing I'd like to show you is the insert button. We can insert a basic table. Let's say I want a 4x4 table. I click that and I can put in information here, and I want to put name, etc., and then you can start filling out the table. So it's a pretty useful function to know how to use the table. Another useful function in the insert tab is pictures, shapes, charts, etc. I highly recommend going through the PowerPoint versions of these. They work the exact same. Pretty much the whole insert tab is the exact same on Excel, PowerPoint, and Word. And like I said, probably the best place to learn about all these different functions is in our PowerPoint trainings. Last thing to show you is Home. It's pretty self-explanatory. Again, we've got our fonts, our font colors, which we've talked about. I'm actually going to delete this real quick. You can pick and you can change the color of the font by highlighting it, by mousing over it and choosing different colors. I'm going to pick a more vibrant one like this green. One of my favorite functions is you can type information that is to be repeated in the copy and paste function. The best copy and paste is to just highlight, right click, hit copy, hit enter, and right click, hit paste. That's the pretty standard way to do it. They help you out here a little bit more. You can highlight it, click copy or cut if you want to get rid of it, and hit paste, and you can hit paste as many times as you want. My personal favorite way to do it is I highlight a piece of text. I'm actually going to just highlight, let's do this part, and I'm going to hit Control X and that cuts it. Come down here, I'm going to hit Control V and that pastes. So I can just hit Control V, Control V, Control V. Another great function is Control Z. If you click Control Z, it does my last, and I can just hit Control Z and it we undo everything that we've just done. So again, just a refresher, we've got Control X is cut, Control V is paste, Control C is copy, again Control V is paste, and Control Z is to undo the past action. So those are some keyboard shortcuts that might be helpful for you. But again, you also have your basic cut, copy, and paste. Another great tool is this Format Painter. If I click on Format Painter and I want to copy this exact formatting, meaning bold, Algerian, and 24, I come here and I click Format Painter and I can change it to the one I did. So for example, I changed this format to equal that. If I want to go this format, I click Format Painter and change it like that. So the Format Painter is pretty cool if you're trying to change different text styles and you don't want to have to manually hit bold, Algerian, 24 each time. Some other basic things are your justifications. You have your text align left, center, right, or full justification. You can change your margins by putting them here. So a better example would be type, and you can see I have double spacing in between. If I want to make it back to single spacing, I highlight it and click 1 and then go back to single spacing. Another great function is the bullet point function. You can either take pre-selected text and hit bullets, and if you hit enter you can keep these bullet points going. You can also hit enter a couple times. If you want to do number bullets, you can start here, point number 1, hit enter, point number 2, hit enter again. And if you want to do sub bullets, you just hit the tab and do a sub bullet. If you want a sub bullet of a sub bullet, you can keep going by hitting the tab and it goes farther and farther in. But those are pretty much the basic functions of Microsoft Word. The last one I want to show you is the find and replace. So you click find and you can type in anything that's in your document. For example, we have point. So I'm going to pick point and I want it to say category. So I'm going to click find point replace with category and I hit replace and it replaces point with category. If I hit replace all, everywhere there was the exact word point, it will change it to category. It's a pretty cool function as well. But again, that's pretty much the basics of Microsoft Word.